In a royal family torn apart by scandal, one princess has made a choice that's shocking the world. Princess Beatrice, the eldest daughter of the disgraced Prince Andrew, has just done something that no one expected. Something that could either be the most touching act of family loyalty or the most deluded mistake of her life. While King Charles tries to erase her father from royal history, Beatrice is doing the opposite. She's giving Andrew something he desperately needs: hope. But is she a devoted daughter standing by her father? Or is she enabling a man who refuses to face the truth? This is the story of Princess Beatrice's impossible choice. To understand Beatrice's shocking decision, you need to understand who she really is. Born on August 8, 1988, Princess Beatrice Elizabeth Mary was the first child of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. She arrived during what seemed like happier times, when her parents' marriage was still intact and her father's reputation was unblemished. Unlike other senior royals, Beatrice never became a working member of the royal family. She wasn't given the HRH treatment that comes with official duties. Instead, she carved out a different path. She got a real job. Beatrice attended prestigious schools, graduated from Goldsmiths, University of London, and built a career in business. She worked in finance, then for technology companies. She dated, she traveled, she tried to live as normal a life as possible for someone who's ninth in line to the throne. She married property developer Edoardo Mapelli Mazzi in 2020 in a small, private ceremony during the pandemic. She became a stepmother to his son and gave birth to her daughter Sienna in 2021. By all accounts, Beatrice wanted nothing more than to live quietly, raise her family, and avoid the spotlight that had caused her parents so much pain. But then her father's world imploded, and Beatrice faced an impossible choice: abandon him or stand beside him. You're 31 years old. You've spent your entire adult life trying to build an identity separate from royal drama. You've watched your mother, Sarah Ferguson, be vilified and pushed out of the family. You've seen your parents' divorce play out in the tabloids. Now your father is accused of sexual abuse. Virginia Giuffre's allegations weren't just shocking to the world. They were devastating to Andrew's daughters. These were claims that, if true, meant their father had done something unforgivable, that he had exploited a teenager, that he had lied to them for years. When Andrew decided to do the BBC Newsnight interview, sources say Beatrice tried to talk him out of it. She reportedly watched the interview before it aired and was horrified. She knew it would be a disaster. She was right. As the world turned against Prince Andrew, as organizations dropped him, as the Queen forced him to step back, Beatrice and her sister Eugenie found themselves in an impossible position. The media wanted them to denounce their father publicly. The public expected them to take a stand. But he was still their dad, the man who raised them, who walked Beatrice down the aisle at her wedding, who held his granddaughter. For years, Beatrice's support for her father was subtle, private, carefully managed. She didn't give interviews defending him. She didn't make public statements. But she also didn't abandon him. When Andrew settled the lawsuit with Virginia Giuffre in February 2022, paying an estimated £12 million, Beatrice was reportedly one of the few family members who still took his calls. While other royals distanced themselves completely, she maintained contact. She visited him at Royal Lodge. She included him in private family gatherings with her daughter. She made it clear that, regardless of what the world thought, he was still her father. But she was careful, strategic even. Beatrice understood that being too publicly supportive of Andrew would damage her own reputation. It would taint her marriage, her career, her ability to move through society. So she kept her support private, behind closed doors, away from cameras. It was a delicate balance, being a daughter without being an enabler, showing love without showing approval. For a while, it seemed to work. But then something changed, and Beatrice made a decision that has stunned royal watchers and divided public opinion. In recent weeks, multiple sources have reported something remarkable. Princess Beatrice has been actively working behind the scenes to rehabilitate her father's image and position within the royal family. According to insiders, she's been having conversations with King Charles, arguing that Andrew deserves a pathway back to some form of royal life. Not full duties, perhaps, but some recognition, some role, some dignity. She's reportedly told the king that Andrew has suffered enough, that he's paid his debt, that he deserves compassion and a chance to contribute to the family in some limited capacity. More shockingly, Beatrice has been seen with Andrew in public more frequently, at church services, at family events. She's no longer hiding their relationship. And here's what makes this truly unprecedented. Sources say Beatrice has been coordinating with her father's small remaining circle of friends to craft a new narrative. One where Andrew is portrayed not as a predator who got caught, but as a flawed man who made mistakes in friendship but has been unfairly scapegoated. She's giving him exactly what he's been desperate for: legitimacy. Hope. A princess vouching for her father's character. There are two ways to interpret what Beatrice is doing. Beatrice knows her father better than anyone. She spent her entire life with him. If she believes he's been treated too harshly, if she thinks there's more to the story than the public knows, doesn't her opinion matter? She's not excusing terrible behavior. She's simply saying that her father is a human being who deserves basic dignity and family support. She's refusing to let the court of public opinion completely destroy a man without giving him any path to redemption. From this view, Beatrice is showing extraordinary courage and loyalty. She's risking her own reputation to stand by family. In a world that's quick to cancel and condemn, she's offering grace. That's one interpretation. Beatrice is in complete denial about who her father really is and what he's done. Andrew settled a sexual abuse lawsuit for millions of pounds. He was friends with a convicted sex offender and showed no remorse about it. He gave a disastrous interview where he showed zero empathy for victims. Every explanation he's offered has been implausible or outright absurd. By supporting him, by trying to rehabilitate him, Beatrice is sending a message to abuse survivors everywhere that powerful men can buy their way out of accountability, that family loyalty matters more than justice, that enough time and enough money can erase any scandal. From this view, Beatrice is tragically deluded. She's so close to the situation that she can't see it clearly. She's been manipulated by a father who has always refused to take responsibility for his actions. The public reaction to Beatrice's support has been swift and harsh. Social media exploded when news of her rehabilitation efforts emerged. Twitter users accused her of privilege, of not understanding what real accountability looks like. Hashtags condemning her decision trended for days. Survivors' advocacy groups issued statements expressing disappointment. They pointed out that supporting someone who settled a sexual abuse case sends a devastating message to victims who are brave enough to come forward. Royal commentators have been divided, but many have been critical. One wrote, "Princess Beatrice may love her father, but love doesn't mean enabling denial. Andrew has shown no genuine remorse, no real accountability. Supporting him publicly isn't loyalty, it's complicity." Another argued, "We can have sympathy for Beatrice's position without agreeing with her choice. She's in an impossible situation, but that doesn't make what she's doing right." Even some traditionally sympathetic voices have expressed concern. They worry that Beatrice is damaging her own reputation, limiting her daughter's future opportunities, and showing poor judgment. But there's another side to this story. A smaller but vocal group has defended Beatrice, arguing that we can't expect her to abandon her father completely. That family loyalty matters. That we're asking too much of her. The debate rages on, but one thing is clear: Beatrice's decision has consequences. Behind palace walls, Beatrice's support for Andrew is reportedly causing significant tension. King Charles is said to be frustrated. He spent the first years of his reign trying to modernize the monarchy, to distance the institution from Andrew's toxicity. Beatrice's efforts to bring Andrew back into the fold undermine everything Charles is trying to accomplish. Sources say Charles has had frank conversations with Beatrice, explaining that Andrew cannot and will not have any public role again, that the decision is final, that she needs to accept it. Beatrice has reportedly pushed back, arguing that her father is being treated more harshly than he deserves, that family should support family, that there must be some middle ground. The disagreement has created an uncomfortable dynamic at family gatherings. Prince William is said to be firmly on Charles's side, believing that Andrew is toxic to the monarchy's future. He reportedly sees Beatrice's support as naive at best, damaging at worst. Princess Eugenie, Beatrice's younger sister, is in a difficult position. She loves her father and her sister, but she's also trying to build her own life and career. She's been less publicly supportive of Andrew than Beatrice, creating some tension between the sisters. And what about Sarah Ferguson, their mother? Sarah has always stood by Andrew, calling him a good man even after the settlement. Some speculate that she's encouraged Beatrice's support, that she's influencing her daughter's decisions. It's a family torn apart by scandal, loyalty, and fundamentally different views about accountability. So where does this leave Princess Beatrice? She's made her choice. She's standing by her father, publicly and privately. She's trying to give him a boost, a lifeline, a chance at some form of rehabilitation. But at what cost? Her reputation has taken a hit. Organizations that might have worked with her may now hesitate. Her ability to represent the family at events could be compromised. She's attached herself to the most toxic member of the royal family. And what about her daughter, Sienna? As the girl grows up, how will she understand her mother's decision to support her grandfather despite the allegations against him? Beatrice may believe she's doing the right thing. She may genuinely think her father has been treated unfairly. She may feel that family loyalty is more important than public opinion. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Andrew has shown no real accountability, no genuine remorse, no meaningful change. He settled a lawsuit to avoid testifying under oath. He gave excuses rather than apologies. He continues to believe he's a victim rather than someone who made catastrophic choices. By supporting him without demanding accountability, Beatrice may be enabling exactly the kind of denial that got him into this mess in the first place. In the grand story of the British royal family, Princess Beatrice's choice will be remembered as one of the most complicated. Is she a loyal daughter standing by her father in his darkest hour? Or is she a deluded woman who can't accept the truth about someone she loves? Perhaps she's both. Perhaps that's the tragedy of her situation. She's caught between love and reality, between family and accountability, between the father she knows and the man the world sees. History will judge whether Beatrice made the right call, whether her loyalty was admirable or her support was enabling, whether she showed courage or delusion. But here's what we know right now. Princess Beatrice has given her father something he desperately wanted: hope, legitimacy, a royal endorsement. The question that remains is whether Andrew deserves it, and whether Beatrice will one day look back and realize that the greatest act of love isn't standing by someone no matter what they've done, but holding them accountable so they can actually change. Time will tell if Princess Beatrice is loyal or deluded. But the boost she's given Andrew, that's already changed the game.